A Widow's Game Plot Summary. A Widow's Game follows an investigation into the murder of Arturo Ferrer Puig after he is found dead at his apartment's parking garage. At first glance, it looks like a robbery gone wrong, but the autopsy tells a different story. Arturo's death was a premeditated murder, and as the detectives dig deeper into the investigation, the main suspect becomes Arturo's wife, Maje. Why does Maje want Arturo dead? Maje was raised in a strictly religious and conservative household. She was outgoing and the life of the party, but she still chose to get married to Arturo. Maje felt like she was trapped in an unhappy and controlling marriage. She was desperate and wanted freedom. However, because of her family's strict upbringing, divorce did not feel like an option. Instead, she had numerous affairs as a way of escaping and not feeling like a caged bird. A month before their marriage, Maje had an affair, and Arturo forgave her. When he found out that she was still having extramarital affairs after their marriage, Arturo wanted a divorce. Maje saw that Arturo was serious about the divorce, and she would get nothing since she had signed a prenup. Motivated by a life insurance payout, Maje decided to kill Arturo. In her family, being a widow is better than being divorced. Who killed? Arturo? Maje wanted Arturo dead, but she did not plan on doing it herself. She had led the men she was having affairs with to believe that Arturo was an abusive and controlling husband. At first, she tried to get Andres, one of her extramarital affair partners, to do it. Andres thought she should report Arturo to the police for the abuse, and he would testify on her behalf. Maje's second option was Salva, a colleague at the hospital who was obsessed with her. Initially, Maje had ignored Salva's advances, but with the idea of wanting him to do the dirty work for her, she agreed to his pursuits. Maje convinced Salva that Arturo was abusive and that he would kill her if she decided to leave him to be with Salva. Therefore, the only way for them to have a future is if Arturo were dead. Salva became obsessed with Maje and even told his friend that he would do anything to make sure they stay together. Therefore, when Maje suggested that he help her get rid of Arturo, Salva agreed. Salva ambushed Arturo in the garage using a kitchen knife. The key to the garage and information about Arturo were provided by Salva. The murder weapon was later found buried on Salva's property, which confirmed that the murder was planned and premeditated. How do the police arrest Maje and Salva? After she had suspicions about Maje's involvement in the murder, Inspector Eva got a judge's warrant to tap her phone. They gathered recordings for months, but Maje never said anything incriminating. However, Eva and her team were convinced Maje was guilty. Using Arturo's brother, they scared Maje into believing that they had found the suspect and were closing in on the arrest. Maje panicked and called Salva. Finally, Eva and the team had enough incriminating recordings to arrest them. After the arrest, Salva insisted on protecting Maje, saying that he had committed the murder by himself. Maje tried to frame Salva as a stalker who threatened her to give him the garage keys. She insisted that she was not involved in the murder plot. However, after his arrest, Salva discovered that Maje continued to sleep around with other men, so he changed his earlier statement. How does A Widow's Game end? Salva changes his confession statement and says that he was manipulated by Maje into killing Arturo. Due to his cooperation with the police, Salva received a reduced sentence of 17 years. Maje received a sentence of 22 years as the mastermind of Arturo's murder. Eva quit the crime investigation team and joined the police patrol.